We are in 50s aviation or in vintage science fiction, genres where people have to make brave decisions, where nobody is allowed to fear the extraordinary. Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim and our topic today is the Direnzo DRZ 02R. And the R stands for reduced because this watch is the successor of an older release by Direnzo called the DRZ 02. And that watch sported a very, very bold, big, special form of the case. Very, very unique. And back then it also sported this typical design language we know from Direnzo that you can spot from a mile. Very, very distinctive, really. And so I was very excited when they announced, when Sergio, the owner, announced that this watch comes back, but renewed, reduced to its core, so to speak. And I've seen images, and then he asked me if I'd like to review that watch, and of course I said, yep, absolutely, absolutely. And then the watch arrived and I found so many positives, but this is not sponsored content, so I'm able to tell you that I've discovered also a little disappointment for me personally. So Sergio, relax. Other people will enjoy 100% of this watch, but I personally, for me, found something a bit disappointing, and I will show it to you in the Lightbox in detail right now. And here we are with our very special Direnzo Aerolite with this amazing case form and these other features that tells us in the first second that we have a Direnzo watch in front of us. This is this typical design, a bit borrowed from movies like Tron or other science fiction pictures, just beautiful and recognizable even at a distance that this is a Direnzo. But let's go first over the measurements. We have here a case width, I should say, of 39 millimeters and a case height of 44. This tells us, oh, this is a rather modest watch for today's standards, but you see how misleading these numbers can be. Especially the 44 in length indicates normally a very modest watch, but this thing wears big, as you will see in 1 or 2 minutes. Then we have a lug width here of 20, height is 10.5, so very elegant and slender watch. And the other specifications are as followed. We have a sapphire crystal here with anti-reflective coating. We have a non-screw-down crown, so rather normal crown. The watch comes then on this bracelet. And there is a plating on it, or I should say a hardened layer. This is a speciality. You find this on many Direnzo watches, and it actually works. I've worn several of his watches for days or even weeks, and I've never seen a severe scratch here on these hardened parts of metal. So this really works, this stuff. Then we have a butterfly clasp, meaning that you can open it like that you see a nice sort of a decoration here. And inside we have the good old Sellita SW 200-1 Elaboré, so you have here that very familiar look, that rotor here. Water resistance is indicated with 100 meters. And now let's begin here with the key features, with the design and this amazing case. First, you may notice that this is a sort of a sandwich dial, meaning that you have 2 floors. Look at the indices placed, the lume dots here in the triangle that you see. There you see some sort of basement. And this gives the watch, of course, some depth. And everything is decorated nicely with an extremely nice sunburst effect. Look at that. This is just crazy. I mean, a sunburst effect alone is not super special anymore. Of course, you can't see it on 60s watches. But here it really works, I think, together with the coating of the crystal. This is just beautiful. Just amazing. And also the lume. I mean, the color is very special, matches the dial color here. But the impact is also pretty brutal. Here you have the lume shot, and this is absolutely amazing. And here you can see why I made this comparison to the movie Tron or Tron Legacy. And also very nice is, of course, that the logo and the Aerolite is pretty subtle printed on the dial, so nothing distracts here from this nice symmetric and sunbursty look. I don't know if this is a word, but you know what I mean when you see this. Also very nice are the hands. We know these hands from other Direnzo watches, such as the Mondial. And also very nice. They look pretty modern, but you also see a bit of 50s aviation in it. And now let's debate a bit the case, because it's also very special. We have this cushion foam case here. It's brushed, as you see, brushed. Facets high polished, bezel not high polished with, I think is pretty good, because otherwise it would be a scratch magnet. Then you have a very subtle crown with a dot on top. And these sides are a bit curved to the inside. Here I noticed that this creates a bit of an awkward look, because the crown sits on these ridges there. I've never seen this before, or can you see it? So this was a bit new to me, but I trust Sergio's expertise that this works. And now you see what I mean. This is a huge watch, at least for my 17 centimeter wrist. Look at that. It's just a super big chunk of metal, has some weight to it. And so I think Sergio will hate me for that, but for me this is not really wearable, I feel. With the shirt it's a bit better, but still huge watch. So for me a bit too big, but for you guys with a big wrist, here's your watch. Absolutely, here you have the presence. And so you can imagine my disappointment when I saw this watch and I found it great and I was really in love with it, and then I realized, Tim, let's be honest, you cannot wear it like that. But then I discovered that it has, it's not really integrated, the bracelet, and it has quick spring release bars, and then I thought, all right, let's try something else. And so step one, watch head naked, very different look, of course. Very different look. Now it looks a bit more fragile and not so super dominant. And then I thought, all right, now we can play with it. And then I checked it with a mesh, and there you see, now we're talking. Now we're talking. So when you have a 17 centimeter wrist, this is the look that can make you happy. I will show it on my wrist in a second. But then I checked it with leather. Caseback number 2, again, just a nice contrast. Complementary colors, this orangey brown and the blue, just nice. And there you go. There you go. And now it's on the mesh, and now you see the amazing form of the case. And it's wearable for Timmy Timepiece with his 17 centimeter wrist. What a relief, and what a stunning look now. And so overall, great watch, very special. And when you have big wrist, then you can absolutely wear it, I think, with the original bracelet. And when you are a bit like me, then you can really play around with the mesh, with leather. Unfortunately, not with a NATO. This would look awesome, but there's not enough room here for a NATO. But overall, absolute stunner, absolute stunner. And now price and availability. The pre-sale campaign starts in July the 15th, and the early bird price for, let's say, pre-orders are 700 Swiss francs, which are 700 euros, around 770 US dollars here. And the delivery will take place in October this year. Okay, and now it's time for viewers' images. And the first one comes from Matthias, the lost image. In one of my last videos, I told you that I've lost very interesting image sent in by a viewer, and yeah, he sent it back. Thank you very much, Matthias. And he writes, I just wanted to drop you a message to let you know that I've been a dedicated follower of your channel for a good couple of years now. I'm proud to say that I still wear one of the first versions of your wallet, which has remained in excellent condition and shows no sign of wear and tear whatsoever. Great, that's really great to hear. But now to the watch. Today I took advantage to the beautiful spring weather in Frankfurt, Germany, and snapped a picture of my latest watch acquisition in front of the Opera House. I recently bought a Seiko Sportsmatic from the early 60s for a real bargain on eBay. After a thorough revision, the stunning and highly elegant watch is keeping time with almost chronometer precision. It has an automatic movement with a 360-degree rotor, which kicks off the movement with just a few shakes. Hand winding is neither necessary nor possible. Keep up the good work. Yeah, thank you very much, Matthias. I've never seen that watch before, I must say. At first glance, I thought, all right, 60s and gold plated with this typical look of the 60s elegant dress watches. But that from Seiko was really a big surprise, so I've really learned here something. And Matthias has added in his second mail another watch, and this is a Maurice Lacroix, and he writes something like that. It's a bit debatable, this brand, and I see the point, but this watch is a pretty good looking piece. And I think often you find Maurice Lacroix watches for a fraction of the original price, and sometimes they really deliver something really valuable and good looking, and yeah, really something for the money. And our next image comes from Gary, another buyer of one of my wallets, but I haven't staged this. I swear to God. And he writes, I purchased one of your wallets some time ago. It is absolutely beautiful now, with a beautiful used patina. I love it. I just thought you might like to view a couple of my watches. They are both 34mm diameter, which is my ideal size. I tend to wear the Tudor as my weekday watch and the Rolex more on weekends. Kind regards, Gary. Yeah, thank you very much. And this shows, ladies and gentlemen, that you really can sport a rather small watch with a rather large wrist, because Gary's wrist, as far as I can see, is perfectly normal for a man, and he sports these rather smaller watches with attitude, nice suntan, and this nice band there that gives a bit of a color there. Very, very nice. By the way, right now I'm sporting a Tudor too, because the Direnzo is back in the parcel, and this is the Prince two-tone date day 36mm, and I absolutely love it. Alright, these were your images, and dear viewer, as always, if you'd like to participate here, then you can send in your best wrist shots together with a bit of your area or hometown, your favorite places, to casebackwatches@icloud.com. casebackwatches@icloud.com. And that's all for this video. Thank you very much for your attention, and until next time.